And welcome to Byron Borrow, where every game is worth playing. And today we are taking a look at Final Fantasy 15. Now, this game is billed as a game for both fans and for newcomers. So, with me today is a newcomer to the Final Fantasy series, my younger brother Ethan.
Hello, everybody.
Now, you haven't really played any Final Fantasy games before.
Maybe once in a while I've seen the older ones played, but I understand it's very different games made since then.
Yeah, you played like the re-release of 4,
No,
wasn't it?
I
On
don't
the
think
Game Boy?
I don't think it may have been a re-release then, but I didn't know any different.
Right. Well, we're going to take a look at Final Fantasy 15 as it stands today, since this is a release for first-timers and for fans. We're going to jump into my game. My game's a little further ahead than yours, but you played around with this for a little while and were able to get a feel for it. And this is something I really like. It'll automatically load you the longest time you've played on there. So right now I've clocked in about 11 hours and 56 minutes, so I should be past the tutorial now.
One would hope.
One would hope, but you never know. There was another game, Ni no Kuni, Curse of the White Witch, and I remember them talking about this on the Rooster Teeth podcast because Gus was playing it, and he was like, he said somewhere between 5 and 7 hours in, and the tutorial was still going. It was just constantly throwing new shit at him. I have no idea. But getting back to this game, we are going to deliver our honest opinions on Final Fantasy 15. So welcome to IOHO FF15.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get something that I think is bad out of the way first, because I really do love this game. Like, almost entirely wholeheartedly love this game. These load times are bullshit.
I can attest, I've barely played through it, and already they do feel a little bit long for each portion. But just seeing the background even in the load screen, this is basically how it would look in the game. And that's probably the majority of the load time right there. It's just loading the entire world to explore.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure that it's loading up absolutely everything, because there's not a lot of load points in between when you enter the game world and when you have to go and do something else. So that's very, very nice. But even still, these load times are
all your
god-awful.
Load times are compiled into starting the game and changing chapters, right?
Yeah, more or less.
I think it's a nice trade, personally.
God help you if you lose, though.
Ooh.
Yeah, there have been a couple of points where I've just said, screw it, I'm going to burn through all my potions and Phoenix Downs if I continue this fight. So I just lost it and was like, screw it, I'll reload, and then I spent like 4 minutes reloading. So,
not for the people who want to just sit down for a quick match of something, then, right?
Well, weirdly enough, it kind of is. Alright. Well, we're going to go ahead and rest for the night so we can see everything. Had to make sure. There was one place I stayed at. It cost me 300 frickin' gil. And this is something I kind of have to talk about now, the voice acting. Normally, games like this, I wish I could punch myself in the dick to make it stop. They're not bad here.
That's about right. They're not terrible, obviously, but there's obviously much better voice actors out there.
Yeah, there's very much some that'll...
So wait, what's this about?
Okay, well, at the end of the day, whenever you level up and you progress, one of your characters, Prompto, will take photographs throughout your journey. And at the end of the day, you get to see what all pictures he's taken. Because I just kind of loaded in off of a already loaded file, we don't really get that. But I've actually got a few of them that looked really, really good. And I've shared them on Facebook, actually. You can do that.
Well, that seems like an interesting touch.
Yeah, they're kind of neat. You should totally look it up. Um, but yeah, the story is fairly simple and straightforward. You are on a bro trip essentially. It's to get yourself to your lovely uh,
Wife to be.
wife to be. Yes, best way of putting it.
Look at all these lovelies.
We're gonna skip this
Belong in the world's mysteries. Yep, you slip
because if there's one thing Final Fantasy does well, it's a talking. All right. Oh crap! I kind of wish I had done that before I. All right. Well, there's an achievement. I wish I had done that before I saved. I could have leveled up everybody else. But yeah, leveling up doesn't occur automatically. You just do that at the end of the day whenever you rest. So you jump from like level 2 to about level 5 if you don't take a rest in between.
That actually sounds pretty impressive.
Yes. There are also,
And
you don't have
potentially-
to do it at certain spots either. Well, you have to do it at certain spots, but you don't have to be at like a rest station like this. You can be out in the wilderness out there and come from a rest spot. Let's see if I've got one marked. Yeah, you can make camp at somewhere like this. And from there you can choose to like make a meal and have your characters level up and stuff like that.
So level up isn't something done in the midst of a battle or even at the end of a battle. It's only like an end of the day type of deal.
Yes.
So you said also that it has to be done at resting. Is there almost like a survival aspect to this game?
Not that I've really seen.
Well, I noticed from my own playthrough that there was instances where the characters can sit down to eat at a restaurant almost, and you essentially would actually be trying to get a meal real quick, and it boosts their stats like a temporary.
When you do that, that is exactly what that is. It's a stat boost. So if you know you're going to go fight a battle that's going to be kind of hard, you can sit down and have a meal that will boost like your health recovery and your attack. And you can do stuff like that.
So there's no hunger or getting thirsty type thing.
No. No.
I might have answered before, but yes, it
Which,
is.
thank goodness for that.
I noticed also there's no GTA-esque driving going on right now.
No. Which works to the game's benefit and to its detriment, sort of. I can take control of this vehicle and drive around myself, but it's pretty much a linear path.
You wouldn't really be able to do much unless you wanted to play like you drive like you were playing Grand Theft Auto.
Right. Essentially, what you do is you hold down your acceleration, and the car will move along the standardized pathway, be it the road or another trail you can go off on. There's no real way to essentially beeline it through the woods.
Oh, I see. So the thought occurs actually because of a certain webcomic I've read before. Is there such a thing then as a Grand Theft Chocobo that you could pull off?
Well, not entirely, but you can ride chocobos. Actually, that's where we're going
Heard
right
about
now.
that.
We're right now going to ride chocobos.
Okay then.
And I guess now's as good a time as any to talk about the gameplay aesthetics. This game controls a lot like Final Fantasy mixed with Kingdom Hearts. By that I mean they took essentially the combat system from Final Fantasy 13, where you had a mild movement range, but you could free attack mostly. Well, 13.2 I should say is probably the better argument, because you can get into combat and you can use your items by just doing a quick pause here, and you can delineate who gets what and when. And it'll give you a bit of a breather.
Excuse me. We'd like to ride the chocobos.
Chocobos, huh? I hate to break this to
Uh-oh.
you, but we can't permit our birds to leave the post. That wild Deadeye said
What?
he's an uncommonly ferocious behemoth that's taken the power
Oh, this is bullshit. Hell no.
He should makes our birds nervous. And to prevent accidents or tragedies, we have no choice but to
Maybe.
Reckon you could handle the laxative?
Maybe. Means I get to ride chocobos.
Indeed.
Rewarding.
And your reward. That is a reward worth any task.
Now, normally this would be where I say the direction's good except for, the voices or something like that. Oh, this is one of those. I gotta wait till night.
Oh, so there's a bit of a time system to this.
Yeah, there are certain missions you can only accomplish during the day, certain ones you can only accomplish at night.
So that's something I haven't actually gotten to even play through that much of the game just yet. I've only had like during daytime missions where
Right.
you walk around almost as if it's using the open world system. You walk around to get your objectives done.
Right. Which there is a little bit of that when you level up overnight, your stats will increase for various people. Like your photographer there, Prompto, who's riding very unsafely. He does photography, and
See, the moment he hits the brakes, he no longer has a back.
yeah,
What was that?
Ah, dang.
My apologies.
The reflections are too good.
yeah, he grabs hold of that headrest pretty good. The weirdest part is that's not even the most dangerous thing. The title character, Noctis.
So
Uh
Naz, haven't taken pics of whatever catches my eye. But what do you
oh.
wanna see?
Wait a minute.
Nothing really is good.
What does it matter?
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, I guess you have a point.
So wait, why was there an option to take pictures of your teammates there?
Well, because he does photography spots. He doesn't like openly do it in the middle of the fight. It's just something that pops up where you have these various camera angles throughout this conflict.
Various camera angles, you say?
There have been some weird ones. Nothing too game-breakingly weird, but yeah, it can get some strange camera angles.
Okay. So I'm wondering, I don't want to have to hear the words "no homo" pop up in this.
No, although with Final Fantasy that could happen a lot. But my God, this might be one of the best looking, most relaxing games I've played in a while.
This is actually, people, this is probably exactly why the game takes so long
This
to load.
right here, except for right now. Immediately, what the fuck are you doing?
You are why people have to wear their seatbelts all the time
You're
now.
the reason the Darwin Awards exist. You're a prince, goddammit. Sit your ass down.
What happens if you break then?
That.
That's all that happens?
Yeah, it's
You're
a teen,
going at least 30 miles an hour.
it's a teen game, so we can't just, have them fly across the road there and smear across the pavement.
Well, much as you might want to see somebody do
Yeah, that's where you
that.
sit down. God, now he's doing it again!
Why can't you people just do this like normal?
I don't know.
I say as you're playing a game with giant birds that can be ridden like horses,
I was about to say.
and you can summon swords at will and throw them and teleport to them at will. Something that is
hopefully-
unique to your specific character.
Yeah, hopefully
I might
we'll
add.
get some combat in this gameplay, and I can show you guys that. I don't think we really need to talk too much more about the graphics. I mean, honest to God, just looking at this, it's beautiful.
As easily as this game loads everything else in it, it may not necessarily be the best for graphics at range, but just overall, it is exceptionally good looking.
It's good looking, it's good feeling, nothing looks jarring and out of place.
That's actually the odd thing. Even the
Even this
fantasy
car,
landscape.
this beast of a car here, looks in place in this world.
But even that, right there, in the background, that doesn't look out of place with the odd ice tower that's there.
I have no idea what that is. Somebody in the comments will correct you, maybe.
Probably. Maybe it's not actually ice.
Probably not. But yeah, I'm not going to comment too much about the game looking because you can see it. This game is honest to God, one of the best looking games I've seen all year.
Well, to think on that, if we
So
are
far,
going
I've
to be...
had no texture popping problems. Everything loads perfectly.
Aha!
Where are they from? Where are they from?
Oh, right there. Big
Ah,
things.
damn it, not the Magitech engine.
Wait, what?
Oh shit, they're level 20. No, I got it. I'm bouncing.
Okay, you can see the level of these opponents before you go to them.
Sometimes. Shit.
Let the gem hunts begin.
What in the world are these guys?
Those are Magitech swordsmen.
What are Magitech swordsmen? Besides being level 18 compared to you? And I'm guessing that means they're very powerful.
They can be strong, but they're kind of slow, so...
So that's okay, right?
Yeah, I can basically just wail the hell out of them. Come on.
You're forgetting to actually hold that X button. It's how you dodge in this game.
Yeah, it is, but I gotta...
Interesting note, if you just hold X, you will continuously dodge and never actually be hit. Is that right?
Well, yes, but you're also amazingly slow, so it kind of ends up hurting you.
How do you mean?
Well, because you've got to be able to move quickly on the battlefield.
These enemies are all against you. They're not trying to fight the bug beings at all.
Yeah, no. There's a reason for that, but... Damn it! Alright, yeah, no, we're gonna give this one a wash. I've got him way over my head now.
Okay, so you actually have to see each of your teammates die.
More or less. And now I have to let my health run down.
Okay, that's an interesting thing I learned about through the tutorial. You essentially develop a secondary health bar the first time you would fall.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of chances to recover and to advance. So,
Almost akin to how it is in, say, Borderlands, where you get X time to try and take someone else out in Borderlands and you come back to life.
sort of, yeah.
In this instance, you don't have to fight your way back, but you do get a secondary life bar.
Yeah. Well,
recover.
sort of. You have some recovery time to you, so it's a good style. It's a good system. Uh, but yeah, like I say, you can go into your when you're not completely and totally outmatched in a class. I don't even know what level I was, but apparently it wasn't good enough to take those assholes. You can go into your main menu. You can hold down your item wheel, and you can revive people like that.
That seems pretty handy.
No, it is.
It does seem a little
Now,
off-putting,
from this, I've heard that some of the later levels get a little repetitive, exploration combat-wise, but, I mean, it's Final Fantasy. Honestly, if that's your biggest complaint, welcome to the series.
I want to say I remember from the old game that was actually normal to me, that it was repetitive-ish throughout the entirety of it. The
Right.
exploration was more or less the same.
Well,
Monster fights were more or less figure out what the weakness was.
it's the
from
same
there.
here, except now it's figure out their vulnerable spot where you can attack them from to deal massive damage.
Oh, because you have the free movement.
You have free movement, so you can do this. So we are going to go ahead and pick another mission. Let's go here.
Is it very common that you're given missions like this where you're not really the proper level for it, but they'll have it pop up on you anyway?
Sort of. You can wander into just about anything, and random encounters are quite random, even though you can see what's going on with it. So, see, now I can drive.
But even then, it's still making you follow the set path.
Yeah,
You're essentially holding the accelerator.
As he can attest, I'm not touching anything while my car zips around.
Which seems odd, but what happens if you quickly hop out? Does it make you leap out of the car and it goes crashing off?
No, it just parks it.
Oh.
Just rather abruptly.
Oh, well, that feels boring. But that attests probably to the very easy, not as easy as in casual nature of the driving portion of the game.
It is honestly, it's really kind of relaxing and soothing because I can pop on some music and I can listen to Final Fantasy 13 soundtrack or something from this game.
Interesting.
I can listen to the Kingsglaive soundtrack, which I'm told you need to watch.
Some kind of movie that came with,
Came
not with
before
the
it.
game, but it came out before the
Yeah, I've
game
got Final
itself.
Fantasy 1 soundtrack. 2, I'm pretty sure I bought 3. Yep, you can listen to 3 soundtrack.
See, this is actually especially familiar to me.
5, 7. Yeah, I'm gonna shut it off because we might get flagged. But it creates a nice, relaxing atmosphere, especially if you just done something like that and it's like I don't want to do that anymore.
That was a close one there.
It was indeed.
I noticed there's also stuff that actually supports, though, taking long drives with the vehicle in your Ascension menu, is what it was called.
Uh huh.
That's where you not so much level up, but that's where your skills or your attributes of characters are increased.
I don't remember that.
I believe if you'll check your other menu, perhaps the back,
That was back. I'll have to get out of the car in order to see my main menu.
something to note,
But
then that's different menus between the two.
yeah, like I say, this game plays like a weird mix between a normal Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, which a lot of people might get turned off to. I kind of hope not, though, because this does really play well.
There is something I'll admit that is a major difference between this and that Kingdom Hearts-esque play, is that Kingdom Hearts, as a game, you could lock onto something,
Yeah.
and you stay locked on. You didn't have to hold the button necessarily. But for this game, you do need to actually hold on to whatever button you're going to use to lock on with. And the same thing, like I
Yeah.
said earlier, if you want to block something, you will have to either time it just so, or you'll have to press it or hold it the entire time.
Right.
And that can be a bit tedious for someone who may not have the quick
You might want to
for
stock up on
fingers
potions and stuff.
to be able to swap back and forth real quick.
What do you mean for a
It can be a little tedious, but again, it's something that's easily looked over, especially since you don't have to rely on the triggers to.
You want weapons? We got lots of 'em.
Ooh, hello. Okay. Let's see what else we got.
Okay, and I would point something out very quickly,
Hmm.
and that, and the little time I've played this game, this is the best part of it. Is
Yeah.
that when you go to buy your weapons, down in the corner you will see old school Final Fantasy character
Yeah, it's got the
models
little 8-bit
that will
sprites
show which of your
doing the
characters
victory
can use
poses
X
and
weapon.
who can use what. Yeah, I really like this. It's a fun little thing.
I would not consider myself an old school fan, but that is a nice touch I recognize from the old games.
Huh. That's not too much bigger from what I got. I'll keep that. Does he have a shield? He does have a shield, okay. I've never used a shield in this, so I'm tempted to buy it, but that's like half my stock.
Well, in theory, you can always just sell it back, right? And
Yeah,
you'd
but this
have
is
one on hand
more
to
than
try.
double, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy that.
We're doing business.
And same for this. Oh. There we go.
Alright, that's almost all your money. Or, sorry, gil, as they
It-
like to call it. in
Well,
this
that
game.
is your money in this, so. Alright. Go ahead and swap the engine blade out for a bit. There we go. Do that.
Not going to try out the shield itself then?
Well, I have to sell some stuff first.
I thought you actually had enough for it.
Not anymore.
Pleasure doing business.
But then why else would you have dropped to the amount that you're at?
Because I bought the air sword and
Ah, my mistake.
And yeah, let's sell this.
So I guess there's also an interesting note that there is only the small subset of weaponry that you can utilize instead of classes, though.
Yeah, you can use any item, essentially.
You're the main character after all.
Yeah, you're the main guy. You can use whatever. And so it gives you a chance to try and do different stuff.
But each of your allied characters can only use one type of item.
Right.
I've noticed that so far you only have the three, but other Final Fantasy games they have been known to let you have multiple sets of allies traveling with you. Isn't that something that's a little common to them?
Yeah. Well, this is the first time I've ever fast traveled, so I figured I'd do it for the show. Your load screens also give you a little bit of backstory with certain things and people, so that's nice. Um, there are points where you can get other people, I'm assuming. I'm not sure if you have to proceed with just this group.
Like maybe in certain areas they will change people, but it might be a matter of story choice rather than your own decision.
There is one part where you have to abandon your standard party here and go it alone with one other guy. And that was honestly a lot of fun. I'm going to head to a different area where I can actually do something.
And give some more exploration of real combat that's
Yeah,
not against.
without me getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. So.
Yeah, thanks. Yourself. Hopefully the load times get patched when we get the newer stuff. That was something I meant to say when you were talking about um, stuff being repetitive. The game's creative director, or at least one of the leads on it, has come out and acknowledged this.
The load times aren't normal for them being
Well,
this
it's
long.
not the load times, but the fact that there's some odd uh, repetitiveness later on, and it feels kind of dragged down because of that. And he's come out and addressed it and said they're looking to patch that in, patch that out. They'll put in more stuff that'll make things more unique and vibrant, depending on what they're going to do.
See, this is something that is not really specific to Final Fantasy, but I am personally not actually a big fan of that type of thing. If there's anything that I have come to dislike a little bit about most games today, is that they come out incomplete in this regard. It's a little bit hard to have them be just perfect, or so to speak.
Well, that's kind of been a big complaint regarding games, period, for a long time now.
Where people don't accept them at all, hardly how they come, and they will want something changed if it's a little bit repetitive later on, possibly.
Well, it's not that, but that was a big problem people had when gaming went to being more online based. Was they were going to start releasing incomplete games, and while this game in no way feels incomplete, this game did have an unusually long dev cycle with it, almost 5 years or more. Shut up.
Can't get it out of my head.
He's kind of insufferable in no matter what language you put him in. I've tried both the English and the Japanese, but it just kind of...
He's going to sound like that one way or another, right?
He's going to sound like that no matter what you do. Alright, here we go.
Oh, random enemy.
Yeah, like I say, the random battles can still pop up.
Apparently also from underneath the ground.
Hey, look, you're not a fantastic weird beast like this, so... Da, 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 da.
This sounds like you're having fun.
What
One
was
last
that
thing I really
noise?
wanted to address on the gameplay system is my outfits. Now everybody has a different outfit that you can wear. You start out with a set of common clothes and a set of Crown's Guard clothes. Now, everybody starts out in the Crown's Guard outfits, jacket included. I took his off because he looks very, very neat. Without that, he looks kind of like an 80s action star. Noctis, I hate to say it, Noctis doesn't look good no matter what you put him in right now. He's got that Final Fantasy protagonist problem. They all kind of look weird no matter what you do to them.
Mm.
Ignis looks interesting no matter which version you have him in. I picked this version because I just kind of like the overall aesthetic more.
It looks like he's supposed to be some Wild West doctor, but then there's this punk.
Yeah, Prompto. Prompto's another one of those. He suffers from the same problem as Noctis. He's got that Final Fantasy character thing going on. Now, that being said,
Kidding aside, this can be bad.
So just stay out of it.
It's cool. Let's go.
ah, crap. This might have been a bad idea.
Well, I'm glad I never fought this guy now.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're gonna make this happen.
Not gonna happen. Bandersnatch.
I'll be the judge of that.
Oh no, I admit I'm seeing a dent in that health bar, as well as your friends.
Well, you never know. Be able to do something. Alright. Ah, crap. Alright, Prompto. Take that. How am I out of Phoenix Downs?
Maybe it actually keeps track of what you use up.
All fallen party members. Okay, so I can use that later. Ignis, you're...
Already dead.
Yeah, more or less. Alright. Well, we're just gonna give this a minute. See if I can do some quick recovery here. Ouch. Okay. Yep. There we go. Okay.
There's the teleporting play style that they have in the game.
Right. Let me whip together some... Okay. Ah, there we go. All right.
He is not weak to ice.
No, he is not.
He did seem to get slowed.
Yeah, but I think everybody does when you... Oh my god. This was not a good idea.
This was not.
Alright.
I have to figure
Well,
out
that being
later
said-
what a Bandersnatch is, because this thing just looks screaming. But I can't tell where its mouth is.
Ignis? I have no idea.
That is an interesting point. When you used your magic just now, not all the party may have been damaged, but everybody was affected by the slow, I believe,
Right.
being ice and all.
Alright. And parry! That hurt. Okay, everybody keep him away. Everybody keep him away. Ah, crap. Alright.
Terrible, terrible timing in this.
Yeah, I know. Alright, let's start wrapping this up then. As you can tell, the game... It has some good points, like right there. I'm able to have one of my guys pick me up if I get downed. To a certain point, anyway.
And somehow are able to block something as big as this, a tiny little sword in your hand.
Yeah, you know, it happens. You
May want to just get out of here.
I don't know if that's doable.
Like, it's a pit area.
Yeah, ow. This guy is just kicking my ass every Sunday.
I think it's just gonna happen.
Yeah. So. Alright, you know what? This isn't getting saved, so. Besides, if I do actually manage to make this happen,
I'm not so certain. You keep forgetting to block.
It's not that I'm forgetting, it's just really, really hard sometimes. Okay, there we go.
Why not use more of your warp strike stuff? Those points on the walls you should be able to go to.
Let's see.
Which is an interesting and actually very fun mechanic I've tried so far.
See what happens when he hits some lightning.
That was a lot of lightning.
Yes, it is.
Only got 3 instances of it.
Yes. But... Oh! That did some decent damage.
It did some.
Now I just gotta wait for my charge to happen again. Alright.
Run. Run for your life!
I'm trying, I'm trying.
You're about to...
Here we go. Likewise, how they can pick me up, I can help restore some of them.
Probably about to get hit again.
Maybe?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm hit.
Yeah, that's it, man. They got you.
Come on. Come on. Damn it.
No, this is the interesting part, and at the same time, this is a bit of a staple, I would say, to Final Fantasy games.
I can't heal
It is
anybody.
very easy to get yourself overwhelmed
Yeah,
if you put yourself in a bad position.
Damn it. Alright. Despite what you saw here, this is actually a really fun game. There's a little something in here for everybody. I highly recommend people pick it up.
Just don't do what my brother did.
Don't do what I did. Don't go getting yourself involved in things
way over your head.
Yeah, it can be bad. Like I say, this game looks great, this game plays great, and for the first time in I don't know how long, I actually have a wholehearted recommendation that you buy this game. It is well worth the investment. You're going to get a lot of playtime out of it. And if you're new to this series, this is a really great jumping on point. You can enjoy some of the lore and some of the extra stuff that's going on in the background, especially with a slower pace like the driving sections.
It does help that most Final Fantasy games, including this one, doesn't have a continuous story from one to the next.
Right.
Each is meant to be its own rather detailed background and lore.
Well, unless you get in the case of like 10, 10-2, 13, 13-2, 13-3.
So really, this newer one was actually meant to be a reset for that kind of stuff.
More or less,
they were
yeah.
getting into. Well, that's nice then, at least.
But yeah, that'll about do it. Ethan, thank you for coming on my show and
You're welcome.
Talking about this really awesome game.
You're welcome.
That'll about do it from here. This is probably going to be the last game review I do for the year, so I'm really glad I could end it on a high note. I was actually really concerned because I forgot this game released, and I thought Watch Dogs 2 was going to be where it ended for me. And I just couldn't give that game a very good recommendation. So I'm really happy that I'm able to recommend what is frankly one of the best looking and best playing games, basically, that I picked up all year.
That's saying a lot, actually, considering what's come out this year.
Oh, God.
But still.
I got so angry that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare warped into Mass Effect 3. Yeah.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but apparently it did. Maybe if I get angry enough at other games, I'll warp back into Final Fantasy 15.
Who knows?
Now, that's a thought. That is a thought.
One can only hope.
Then again, if I get too angry, I might accidentally end up warping back into Assassin's Creed 3. Ugh. Nobody wants that. Well, we'll see you next time, everybody. I'm gonna get a quest.